Welcome everyone. Thanks for coming to the PwC session here at the Salonis World Tour event in North America. I'm Nima Bakshi, and on behalf of PwC, I head our US Alliance with Salonis. Today, we're really excited to have two subject matter specialists, one from PwC US and our SAP practice, and one from PwC Canada and our deals practice. But before I introduce Dina and Manos, I want to set some context on where are we in this journey with PwC and Salonis. So in July of this year, PwC the Network, think of that as countries and geographies, PwC the Network and Salonis announced a global collaboration agreement. So right now, we are collaborating in over 40 countries. Right now, we have over 350 Salonis certified resources. And as of now, we have delivered over 100 client service engagements together. So this is the makings of a truly global collaboration agreement, building off of a solid foundation. And now it's time to scale. And with that, let me introduce Dina Patel, my favorite Virginia Tech Hokie, and Manos Zinos, coming to us from Canada. Dina, Manos, go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do at PwC.
Thank you, Nima. Appreciate it. All the way from the West Coast, coming down to the East Coast in Atlanta, Georgia. So today's a great day, right? We've got lots of great topics today, and so looking forward to the conversation. My name's Dina Patel. I'm a partner in our consumer markets business. And little fun fact, I used to be a client. So I bring a client's point of view to the conversation. Super excited today because this topic really is near and dear to my heart, and it gets us through the migration to S4. And so whether it's pre, post, during, there's lots of goodness that's going to come out of today's conversation, and we're looking forward to the conversation with you guys today. And then Manos, all the way up to Canada. How about introduce yourself?
Thanks, Dina, and great to be here. Greetings from Calgary, Alberta. I'm a director in our value creation in deals practice and the alliance driver for Salonis in Canada. My team serves our clients nationally, from early deal inception to post-deal integration. I am also a digital accelerator, which means that I get to work with all these new technologies, learn about them, and use them not only with our clients and help our clients use them, but also with the firm itself. In Canada, we have established a process intelligence center of excellence, which supports all our teams and drives adoption, commercialization, and assists in engagement delivery. We're very excited with the opportunity that Salonis and process intelligence brings to the market, and we're looking forward to seeing how we can achieve amazing things with our clients.
Thank you, Manos. Thanks, Dina. So let's turn to our dialogue. Dina, I'll begin with you. What are some of the operating challenges that you're helping our clients solve for? And within that, what are some of the hindrances our clients are contending with as they try to get more execution capacity out of their business processes?
Yeah, thanks, Nima. This is an interesting conversation because you think about sort of the 20 years of assets that a lot of our clients have done, right? So putting in R2, R3, ECC, any of the versions of sort of their ERP system, whether it be SAP or non-SAP, quite honestly, how do you know how people are using the system? You have no clue. And so unless you sit down with every customer service rep, every AP clerk, every AR clerk, whatever, you have no idea how the systems are truly being used. And so what this enables us to do, quite honestly, is sort of an x-ray into your environment. So imagine, companies spend millions of dollars putting in, their ERP system. How do they know how they're using it? The end users, you don't. And so what this enables us to do is really get an x-ray into the environment and uncover some of the inefficiencies in the process. How are people, deviating from the process, quite honestly, and or even just there's configuration issues or master data issues. We don't know. And so what this uncovers really is a lot of opportunities for improvement, whether it be data, transactional, people, change management, training opportunities by each of the functional areas in the process end to end. So I'm super excited about this thing because honestly, you couldn't do this before. And as a client, I was never able to do it. I used to actually sit down with customer service reps to try to figure out what they were doing, whether it was going into perfect order, not perfect order, delivery blocks, etc. It just gives us a whole new way of really being able to look into the system.
Got it. Thank you, Dina. Manos, same question to you.
I echo, Dina, your sentiments. I've worked through many sessions of process mapping on brown paper across the walls and putting stickies. And when I first saw the Salonis opportunity to have a visualization with data of the process, it was a wow moment for me. And I fully agree what we're seeing here in Canada as well, that many of our clients are going through digital transformation. They scale to the organization for the future. They need to put back investment and time, and a lot of them are questioning what is the value of the next and the next and the next and the next, and when does this cycle will ever stop. And they're looking for operational improvement. They're looking for conformance testing. In some cases, they may be even looking for fraud detection and doing forensics work. And all those system transformations, especially what's happening today with SAP, in the SAP practice, with the ongoing push for S4, the tax processes, finance transformation, and internal audit, when it comes to process conformance, are all topics that are really hot right now in the market. And we're hearing a lot of our clients asking for insight with data. And I think with what we are seeing here, or the opportunities with the Salonis execution management system, is the opportunity to deliver on some of those insights.
Thanks, Manos and Dina. So let's turn from challenges into value capture and data-driven business acceleration. Dina, I'll begin again with you. How does PwC provide value in these regards? Why wouldn't a client consider just buying the Salonis software and doing it themselves?
And you know what? It's if they had the software, that's great, and if they don't, that's okay too. This is a very low touch opportunity for us, and we've been working with a lot of clients on the opportunity to leverage Salonis for even their value case, right? So think about your business value case of what's the need to go to S4? Why should I go to a new ERP? And so what this enables us to do is really capture some of the data that's coming out of their environment. So the environment doesn't lie. And we've taken sort of the Salonis backbone, and we've additionally created additional scripts. And based on those scripts, we can capture these data points which traditionally go into a business value case for going to a new ERP system, whether it be an upgrade, new install, etc. Sometimes it's given us the ability to actually even differentiate between should I do a new install versus an upgrade. And so, 4 to 6 week effort, it's kind of a low touch to the client. We take some of their data, whether it's 6 weeks, 6 months of data, but we're basically taking that data and then we run it through sort of our background scripts that we've built out through our Fit for Growth platform. And when we think about our Fit for Growth, a lot of that's coming from our strategy side of the house, as well as the management consulting and technology consulting side of the house. And so given those data points, we've kind of triangulated and been able to put together an output that we can give to a lot of our clients. And honestly, the data points are things that our clients had never seen before. And I'll use the example about perfect order again, given that I come from the consumer markets group. Perfect order is something that our big box retailers actually find a lot of our clients, and they have no idea whether they're meeting or beating the expectations of our big box retailers. And so these are the types of things we can see, whether it's order to cash, procurement with Maverick buying. We just did some work around enterprise asset management, and then, whether it's budget to record, so many different facets around all the different pieces and parts of SAP. And it depends on the client, right? Some clients may say, you know what, I've got some issues around finance, or it could be issues around order to cash. We'll take those elements and then define what it is. But at the end of the day, this x-ray of your environment is your reality of your environment.
Yes, Dina, I wholeheartedly agree. There's, in my view, one of the things that we achieve and help our clients achieve is to accelerate time to insight. And we're big proponents of Agile. When you talk about systems and systems transformation and installing new systems, you are thinking in years. And what we are trying to achieve here is thinking in days or in weeks. We aim to have a feasibility study within 1 or 2 weeks to understand what is the art of the possible. We want to deliver a proof of concept with our client with their data 3 to 4 weeks thereafter. In many cases, in our typical engagement playbook, we're able to immediately identify cash savings on the procure-to-pay cycle with what we call internally a proprietary cash finder tool. So now you have a proof of concept, you have cash savings in hand. We are their trusted advisor. We have your data. So it is a perfect combination for us to work together and deploy the full process intelligence capabilities that we've been discussing. We combine business controls, our expertise in audit methodologies with Celonis. We have a holistic data-driven approach in agile way that has changed, or promises at least to change, the way that how our business process reviews are performed today.
Manos, thanks. So, Dina, I clearly heard the value goals, such as a perfect order, that is so important to companies in the consumer markets industry. And Manos, I also heard how we get into data-driven business acceleration, time to insight, thinking in new paradigms of days and hours in certain cases. Let's segue from value and acceleration into impact. Dina, again, beginning with you, what are some of the client impact areas that we seek to provide to them?
Yeah, and I touched on it earlier, Nima. I think a lot of it is going to be around, what do I do with that data? So it's kind of interesting. We sit on terabytes and terabytes of data, but we do nothing with it. We sit on terabytes and terabytes of reports, and we do nothing with it. So I think Celonis is one of those areas where you should do something about it, and you should do something. So, you think about insight driven into action. What's the new action I'm going to take? And so what we're seeing organizations and our clients is really based on those data-driven insights, what am I going to do about it? So some of it could be, like I said, configuration issues. Some of it's master data. It's funny, I had a conversation with a client it was probably about a year ago, and we were talking about just some of the data outputs that were coming out of Celonis. And it was funny, when we really started to drill down into the transactional level, we realized that their master data for one customer was wrong, and it was millions and millions of dollars in fines. I go back to fines of perfect order. It's like my best example. And so I think from that, it really becomes, how am I going to change what I do today? And how do I change the opportunity of what I do tomorrow? So some clients are using it from their current environment and making some subtle changes. Other clients are using it from this is going to be my blueprint for what my S4 journey is going to look like, because I don't want to do it the way I've done it before. And then a lot of clients are using it from an operational efficiency standpoint. So imagine you've spent millions of dollars putting in, a new ERP system, whether it be SAP, Oracle, what have you. Are people using it the way it was intended? And more than not, you go back to your legacy habits, to be honest. And so we just want to make sure that what you're taking out of the Celonis environment, you're leveraging those data, you're leveraging the insights, and then you're changing the way you're going to do business tomorrow. And you think about the digital framework, right? A lot of people will tell me, oh yeah, we're low touch, right? Customer service, or no touch customer service. People love automation. But then you talk to customers and they'll say, oh, well, yeah, I'm 90% EDI. Well, you're 90% EDI, but you're also touching 75% of those orders. So really, are you no touch? Probably not. And so these are the data-driven insights you get out of Celonis that I think, will help with the automation targets, will help with your business blueprint going forward, and you'll hear the Celonis team sometimes say this, and I've sort of captured it too, because I like saying it. It's the happy path. What is that happy path from order to invoicing, right? And so, yes, it gives you a wealth of data, but that wealth of data is only as good as you're going to use it. I don't know, Manos, what you think, but that's kind of what I've seen from the Celonis outputs that we've seen so far.
There's a few themes that we are seeing as well. There's the theme of data in terms of what kind of data and what you should use and how you use it. So it is important to denote that we're using a different type of data in process intelligence. We're using user logs. We're using instead of transactions. And why is that different? Is because in our digital lives, we leave behind digital fingerprints. And those digital fingerprints in the past were impossible to actually analyze and work through and understand how it always works. That's why we would turn to the teams or the client teams to walk us through the process. And the happy path was being described to us, but we couldn't see it or substantiate it in the data. Now we can. And we talked a lot about operational improvement and performance and execution of the business. The other side of it is risk. So I'll give you an example that we worked with the risk function of a client, and we managed to substantiate with data various control themes and issues. So we had process conformance. The process model, we actually could substantiate that after installing a new process, the process conformance improved 20% year on year. The purchase orders were still there where the price was getting amended after approval. That was a very interesting control issue that we wanted to explore. And goods ordered were paid without a goods receipt. Now, leveraging Cash Finder I mentioned before, we also uncovered as a bonus duplicate payments and overpayments, which led to immediate cash recoveries. So now this, as you can imagine, was a resounding success. It wasn't just risk. It was the entire organization from audit, business units, C-suite that were just all of a sudden leaning in and interested to understand what is this thing that you guys did that gave me all that in one go. So now we're exploring other opportunities to conduct similar analysis over a period of time, many more business units. We want to optimize value through recurring process monitoring, which is a completely new aspect of this. And over that, if you overlay the ability to have almost near real-time monitoring of the process, you have new ways of working through your data. And it's not just about getting lost in the data. It's about being able to classify and summarize in a new way that was impossible before.
Wow. So, Manos, Dina, those just by the ability to have confidence in how to prosecute the data, the vast amounts of data, and to do so not only in a moment in time, but in a continuous way, and not only to be able to do so with an eye lens on business operations, but some of the risk controls that you highlighted, Manos. So what's clear from both of you is that we have the methodology, and Celonis has the platform to allow us to get into those insights that can drive our clients' top line agendas as well as their bottom line benefits. So now, if I'm in the audience and I'm a line of business leader, I'm a corporate function leader, I'm an IT leader, I may be wondering, where do I get started? So Manos, let's start with you this time. Where should we get started?
I think we need to start with defining the business problem first and solve for business impact rather than trying to figure out what the tool can do. Celonis and Pros Intelligence are very, very versatile, and you can very quickly get lost in the details. You can find yourself in analysis paralysis mode, and not just the business problem itself. Focus on the pain points rather than gain points. We talk about pills versus vitamins. It's where it hurts. It's where people are suffering. It's where the execution is being hampered. That's where you're going to get true drive from the business, other than just showing the upside and the potential. That can come later, but start with the pain point. Start with the thing that is really hampering you, and really, in the end of the day, keeps people up at night. Do mobilize your cross-functional teams with both business knowledge, information technology, and data capabilities. Don't try to do this in one siloed approach. Leverage your trusted advisors to guide you through their experience. And if I were to give you a watch out, resist the temptation to take on too many use cases at once, and do not underestimate the volume of data and the required work to do the cleansing and deriving insights behind the scenes before you actually see the pretty dashboard and the nice visualizations, because all the work that goes into classifying data correctly should not be underestimated. Dina, what have you seen in terms of some of the practices and some of the ways that we should be approaching this?
Yeah, it's funny. Manos, I love your analogy on vitamins versus pills, right? Instant gratification of trying to make the pain go away. yeah, this is one area where you're going to see the pain. And I think your point on, analysis paralysis is spot on. We've got to be really careful because we have a tendency of just being able to get lost in the weeds without being able to really affect change, right? And the goal of this isn't to just put in a tool to put in a tool. It really is to take a true MRI, true X-ray of your process and be able to mine that data to be able to change behaviors, right? Whether it be within people, process, technology, one of them's got to change because at the end of the day, more than not, there are people and there are processes and or technology that's deviating from the core. So the goal really is to take action, right? What am I going to do about it? What impact of change do I need to do? And then ultimately be able to I would say create your sort of blueprint for the future. It's funny, I hear the word transformation, digital, I want to modernize. That's all awesome. But if you're not going to change your core from people, process, technology, none of that matters. And so, the goal really is to get the insights that we're going to get out of the tool and create action based on it, right? And in any of those facets. And I've seen clients do it really well. And I think your use case sort of analogy is spot on. Find one area. I tend to see order to cash and sort of procurement being the two best because there's so much dollars, right, that are either spent dollars, manual work, automation opportunities, you know, whatever it is. I think it gives us the opportunity to be able to look at dollars and cents and percentages. And when I think about value case, business case, any of those things, the moment you start putting money, percent, dollars associated with it, right, it then becomes real. Our buyers tend to be more CFOs, to be honest, or CPOs, right? IT, yes, I think that it's another shiny tool, but and some CIOs love it, but some CIOs also shy away from it because we just don't want to uncover, right, some of the inefficiencies in our processes because it could be a bad setup. And so there's multiple facets to this. It's very I think, tenant. But at the end of the day, if you haven't seen Salonis, if you haven't been able to uncover, right, take us up on our offer. It's a 4 to 6 week effort. It's very low touch from a client perspective. And the data driven insights you get out of it is, I mean, it's powerful. It's really powerful.
Thank you, Dina, and thank you, Manos. So, you guys are great. You not only got us into the position on where to start, you went right into what was going to be my next question on what are some of the lessons learned, what are some of the do's and don'ts, and you answered that as well. So let's then move into differentiation, right? So if you have an idea on what you want to accomplish, how you want to accomplish it, where to start, let's talk about what differentiates us in working on these problems with our clients and with Salonis. Dina, what are some of the PwC differentiators you want to highlight?
Yeah, thanks, Nima. Appreciate it. I'm going to go back to the do's and the don'ts for a second. So don't build a value case or a business case without this data. It is powerful. The insights you'll get and what you can put into your business case or value case for change, whether it's modernizing, transformation, digital, whatever you want to call it, use this data. It's powerful. And do take us up on this offer. I'll be honest, it's very low touch to a client. And what's our secret sauce? And I call it our secret sauce because it is our secret sauce. We've taken sort of the Salonis capability and we've heightened it. We've gone deeper. We've looked at different ways of analyzing this data in a much different way, right? Leveraging our Fit for Growth platform, our strategy, just all these different learnings that we've had cross industry, quite honestly, whether it's consumer markets, whether it's manufacturing, discrete or process, what have you. We've looked at this data and we have literally analyzed it to a different level where the output you get is something you can leverage in any value case, it pays for itself, to be honest. Trying to get this data out of SAP is quite extensive, and what Celonis allows you to do is pretty low touch, right? It's a 6 week effort on our part, and we analyze that data, we collect it, we really. But from the client perspective, it really just is a simple script that you're collecting the data, you send us the data, and then ultimately we analyze it and we give the report out back, whether it's to your C-level executives or what have you. Data is powerful, and Celonis is powerful. But I go back to what I said earlier. You got to be able to analyze this data in a whole different lens. And I think for us, we're taking that data to a whole different, I would say, pinnacle mark. And so from that standpoint, it's data that you can leverage for a lot of different purposes. Like I said, transformation, digital, modernizing, business case for S4, a lot of facets. I don't know, Manas, what you think, but it's too good to pass up.
It is a fantastic opportunity. We see a lot of interest in process intelligence in general, and for the use of Celonis in particular. I think that thinking about PwC, maybe the first word that comes to your mind and what we're really known in the market for is for our audit, our tax, our advisory practice, data engineers, data wrangling, data management doesn't come as their first, let's say, instinct or response. And I'm here to debunk that myth. We have when we bring our one firm together, we have data engineers, solution architects, data scientists, industry subject matter specialists, and behavioral. We have invested significantly in behavioral science as well, which is part of the story. It's not just the data, it's nudging people towards the right behaviors. So we have learned how to leverage the versatility of Celonis while helping our clients stay laser focused on the key areas of value. And we've done this both through trial and error. We are also leveraging Celonis internally across the firm network in some cases. So we are also, what we're preaching, we're practicing it internally for our firm as well. And the most important thing for me is we value our clients' time, effort, and investment. So I start always with with a spirit of service. We're here to serve. If you take it to the very core of it, we are service-based professionals. What does that mean? We need to work in a spirit of service for the benefit of our clients above everything else. And if we start there, we have to have, and that's what we've been putting in forward, is a high-touch, highly interactive project delivery approach where we partner with our clients. And at the very end, and you have seen this, or those who have experienced this already, we don't deliver just a bland PDF. It's dashboards, it's workshops, it's interactivity, it's people that you get to hear about what they think, and we actively tell you, this is what I'm worried about, and this is what I'm not worried about. What do you think? It's not about us coming in as the experts. Let me take away your data. I'll come back 6 weeks. Here's my deck. Thank you very much. This is the invoice. We're trying to flip the model on its head because of the depth of data that we receive and what we can drill in. And if I may, it's just one last little tidbit here from a client example. We were delivering at the very end of the engagement. We had our typical end workshop. It was supposed to be 30 minutes, and in those 30 minutes, we had many, many other topics to cover. 3 hours later, the C-suite had canceled their meetings. We're still drilling in the dashboard. We're still looking at things. Everybody was absolutely amazed and very happy. So that's something that I take away as a job well done, and that's how we want to work with our clients every day.
Fantastic, Manos, and thank you, Dina. Thank you both for sharing your insights and your experiences. And in today's discussion, we took a kind of life cycle approach. We began with what are some of the client challenges. We then got into what are some of the value capture areas. You both brilliantly highlighted what are some of the business impact goals that we can apply our experience for. We then moved into where to get started based upon who you are in your organization. And then we got into some of the lessons learned, the best practices, the do's and the don'ts. And we've now closed with what differentiates the PwC experience partnering with our clients, Celonis, and our other alliance partners, notably SAP. So with that, we've come to a close. And to the audience, I want this to be utterly clear that we are fully intending to enrich and extend our offerings, to bring integrated solutions to market and be able to therefore solve the life cycle of problems that result in complex digital transformations. And so with that, I want to thank Dina Patel. I want to thank Manos Zinos for spending the time with us today. And I want to leave everybody with a call to action. If you want to learn more about what we're doing with PwC and Celonis, we're going to give you 2 names that you can call as you see fit, and let's get started. We'll have Manos here representing next steps with PwC Canada, and we'll have a member of my team, Terrence Nye, doing the same in the US market. With that, I want to thank everyone for spending time with us. I want to wish you a great Celonis World Tour Day. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Nima.
Thank you, Nima.
Bye.
Thanks, Dina.